So some of that was in my introduction. I've been involved a lot throughout the community since a young age. Actually, kind of what inspired me to get involved in city government started with community service. I was involved with a number of nonprofits, and local groups, first just volunteering, like the food pantry at St. Vincent de Paul. I was actually on the board of the Kerrville Little League whenever I was in high school, serving as the umpire-in-chief. And I've worked with Habitat for Humanity and a lot of other organizations in our community. And so since then, I started really getting a sense for what the community really wants and needs in terms of just volunteerism. And then I started getting involved a lot more in the city government side, attending city council meetings before I could even drive whenever I was in government. And so I put a lot of that together and took my involvement and aspiration in community involvement and my love for government and the law, which I'm currently studying right now, and put that together and made it public service. My involvement right now involves, Kerrville Little League. I serve as the secretary of the board. I was spontaneously elected in October. Wasn't a position I was seeking, but I always attended their membership meetings and was asked to serve in that capacity. I was also recently appointed to serve as the umpire-in-chief of that. And then, of course, like I said, one of the big things that we're looking at doing is really getting our youth involved way more in our community. And I think that's needed because the decisions that individuals make, whether it's in government or not, really we're going to reap the benefits, we're going to suffer the consequences. And so doing that through our community and those local government and entities has been, I think, a very big improvement in our community, and I look forward to continue doing that as mayor as well.
Well, I was involved since 1990 or so. I was actually the chair of the board of the Kerrville Area Chamber of Commerce. And the funny thing is, I didn't know this room was up here. I've been involved in a lot of other nonprofits. I was on the board of the Dole Community Center, the Symphony of the Hills, the Kerrville Folk Festival. I was church council chair at Trinity Baptist. I have a lot of experience working with nonprofit boards. And the reason I do that, again, is because I like serving my community.
I have been involved here locally with the City Council, Headwaters Groundwaters. I've served on the Public Safety Committee for the Public Safety Facility. I also have been involved with my local church and done some volunteer work with Meals on Wheels. I served as a substitute driver for a while for them, which I really enjoyed, and that took me way back to when I was a Meals on Wheels driver when my children were little. So I've done that a few times. I also, in the past, worked in Habitat for Humanity and volunteered for Junior Achievement. They do economic education programs in the schools for children. So that's some of those involvements. In addition, it was community service involvement and public service. Let's see. So anyway, I think that'll wrap up that part of the question.
Okay, well, I am proud to be the founding member and vice president of the board for Kerrville Pets Alive. That's one of the nonprofits that I'm active in. I also have been a Hill Country CASA for 12 years, and I sit on their board as their vice president. I spent about 6 years both as a member and the chair of the Food Service Advisory Board for the city of Kerrville. And I am the secretary for the Kerrville Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. So, and in my spare time, I am the event organizer for the Hill Country Swap Meet Market Days event.
Yes, I've been involved in a number of nonprofits. Like I said in my opening statement, probably the longest held position I had was with the Hill Country Youth Ranch for about 20 years. And for those that don't know, the Hill Country Youth Ranch takes in basically wards of the state of Texas. Unfortunately, many of them have been sexually and physically abused. I did a lot of work in that organization helped them start a couple charter schools that's really helped them, and brought a lot of other things to bear. In fact, I remember going and talking in Austin with the head of CPS, explaining to them how that they had a system that would rotate people as far as their classification, and in trying to save money, they were actually hurting the organizations and the kids, because many of the kids fell behind in classification, which caused them to kind of have to start all over again. I've done all the Little League, I've done the club volleyball, I've done baseball. In fact, I started girls softball here in town. I built the Little League fields here in town. We had the 9-year-old All-Star state champs the year that I was president, and I don't even have a boy. My daughter at the time was about 1.5 years or 2 years old. So I've done all the rubber chicken circuits and all the fajita dinners and so on and so forth. And that's part of what I've really loved about living here, and that's part of why I moved here, because I really do enjoy getting to know other people's kids and enjoying watching other people go through life and having their victories and of course their challenges as well. And so my community service, I think, is pretty well unparalleled, because I just barely scratched the surface of all that I've done over the last 35 years.